This is the next part in the series about wealth and abundance. I'm sharing all the tips I know to become successful. Today we're talking about the shift that you need to make for value creation, creating value in this world. So we talked about in the last video the psychology of wealth and money and how creating value is tied to money, right? So if you create more value, so you think about why is somebody, let's say like Elon Musk, so wealthy? Well, he created a whole line of cars that people enjoy and use and people think it's good, right? So he added a lot of value, right, to the entire world as a result of that. And because of that, the world paid him a bunch of money, okay? So we think about value creation. How can we create value? And in the end, the world will repay you with money, right? And that will lead to generation of wealth. Then we're also talking about, okay, creator, owner, operator versus consumer. Why do you need to be in this first group of a creator, owner, operator versus just a consumer? The truth is the consumer has very little power, right? They choose what they want to consume, but they can't really make the rules. They can't really do much else. And as a result, the world doesn't really reward the consumer very much because it's not hard to just choose something, right? It's like if your parents cook you food and then you decide, okay, I want to eat that instead of that. It's not hard to just choose that, but it's much harder to actually make the food yourself, right? That's exactly what we need to view the lens in. There's so many businesses, so many different things running right now that serve each and every one of us each day, right? Like when you go down the street, you can just buy a sandwich from someplace, and that's being a consumer. And there's nothing wrong with being a consumer, right? We're all consuming to some extent, but you need to start thinking about how can I be a creator, an owner, and an operator of something? How can I, make a name for myself, make my own brand, make my own company, make my own business? Because when you're an owner, you start to be able to dictate the rules, and also you get a part of that value creation kind of situation, right? So if you create value as being a sandwich shop, you will get money. Now, of course, whether or not you actually make any net money is different because it's kind of complicated for food stuff. But for example, other stuff, if you code some project and it really blows up and everybody likes it a lot, right? That will be a situation where you created value and you're an owner of that product, right? Of that code. And as a result, you will get paid for, a situation like that. So you tend to find out that really the most successful, the most wealthy people are all creator, owners, and operators of things. They either operate businesses, they either own them, they either create them, or even with content, right? They're creating content. They're adding some value. Because think about it, we talked about value creation, the importance of that. How can you create value as a consumer? You're literally just consuming things. You're like eating sandwiches. How does that help the world? It really doesn't. But if you create a sandwich shop and you provide other people sandwiches, that is value creation. If you create a new kind of service that people actually need, that is value creation. And so a lot of the stuff, unfortunately, ties back to some level of entrepreneurship, business-minded skill set, or leadership, right? And this is really why learning those kind of skills is so important, because if you learn these kind of skills, then they're also, one, applicable to other areas of life, too. It's really good. But also, it's that's how you create value. That's the only way you can create value. I think people just don't understand this, but it's if you sit there watching TikTok all day or watching YouTube Reels or everything just all day, you're consuming. You're not adding anything to the world. Focus on what can you add to the world. Everybody in this world is unique. Everybody has a unique perspective on things. You can learn unique skills. You're watching me on YouTube, right, or some other platform. You can access a lot of information through the same platform that you're watching me right now, and you can use that to build up your skills. And once you build up your skills, you can create, own, or operate something. And that will be your path to success and wealth creation through creating value. The world will only repay you if you create value and you help other people in this world by doing some sort of service, by doing something else, right? And so that's the key, I think, mindset shift that a lot of you need to have. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Otherwise, let's go on to the next part.